Hey folks, one of the questions that people asked after I put the 33's on my 2024 4Runner was what kind of fuel mileage it gets. I wasn't able to immediately answer that question, but I'll go over some equipment on the 4Runner so you get an idea of what it has, how much weight it has. And I did a trip to and from a place, and also the driving that was there. I'm sorry, there's like gnats and stuff. The trip up was on what I would call country highways, which is going to be like 55 to 65 miles per hour. And then on the way back, I did about 73 to 74 miles per hour on an interstate. So those are two entirely different figures. And then I did the middle part, which was driving around, which was some highway, some regular roads, some idling, some trail work. So that was a combined of a lot of different things. So I'll throw that in. That'll be the middle figure. But I'll go over some of the equipment here too, just so you can kind of understand how heavy the 4Runner is and all that stuff. Well, there was a little bit of pause in the video because we had two jets going by. They were pretty far up, but they're still pretty loud. So just want to kind of give you the rundown on the 4Runner, just so you can, because everybody's 4Runner is different. It's just one of those vehicles that people tend to customize. So I went with this close to stock wheel set and wheels. Obviously I kept the same wheels, didn't change the offset or anything like that. No spacers. 255 80 17 to give me a 33-inch tire. They required less fitting. The only thing I did was I pinned this inner fender closer that way. I had to adjust that, and I did that over here too. And I'm still running the stock mud flaps for the 33's, but so I have the winch bumper and also the winch, and I have the rock rails, some aftermarket skid plates. I'm trying to think what else. Obviously the tires are slightly heavier, but they're not much heavier. And that's the other thing, when you go with more narrow tires, you can save some weight there as well. So it's a little over 5,000 pounds, and I think they come about $4,750 from the factory if you don't do anything to them. So mine needs a bath right now, but overall it's in decent shape. So I'll get into the fuel mileage right now. So why not start with a picture of the engine when we talk about the fuel mileage, right? And so the first trip up to Northeast Georgia from my location in Florida, I'll try to show that on the screen here as well, and was basically what I would call country highway. That was also had some stop and go in it. There was stoplights, occasional stop signs, slower traffic. You'd be down to 45, but back up to 60 or 65 sometimes. That we ended up getting 333.9 miles, as you can see here, and we pumped 18.2 gallons into the truck, giving us a 18.35 miles per gallon, which I didn't think was too bad considering the vehicle's a lot heavier now. It has different, bigger tires and all that kind of stuff. And also, I would say the Toyota's cruise control system sucks. I don't like the controls on it, and I don't like, as soon as it drops, like you'll have it set at 65. As soon as it drops to like 64.7, it kicks down to the other gear instead of just powering through. So I think that mileage could have been better. If I can ever figure out how to, rescan or reprogram the cruise control. But anyway, moving on. So the driving around while we were up there was 275.8 miles shown here, and that was 16.72 gallons when we fueled up. That was a little bit of highway, a little bit of street driving. That was also on the trail. That was Charlie's Creek up in Northeast Georgia, and that also included idling when I aired the tires down, idling when I aired the tires up, anything that we were doing, traveling, loading up the vehicle, all those kind of things. So that ended up being 16.5 miles per gallon, which I thought was kind of high. I wouldn't have guessed that it was that high. But anyway, probably because we did enough highway to offset some of that trail driving and stuff. On the way back, we took I-75 most of the way, and that was also through Atlanta, so we probably could have gotten slightly better fuel mileage, but that was until we were well on to I-10 when we decided to get fuel shortly before we got home. That was 339.3 miles, and we put 19.91 gallons in, or 19.92, whatever, and that was 17.04 miles per gallon. So significantly less fuel mileage when you're on an interstate with one of these versus like a sort of slightly slower and also, you know, probably much easier on the aerodynamics on the vehicle when you're in like a country highway. So I hope this video helps you kind of give an idea of what the 33s have cost me. The regular fuel mileage on the thing is 16 city, 19 highway. So I really don't think I've really suffered much at all. I think I could probably achieve 19 or 20 pretty easily if I was on a country highway where I didn't have as many stops and where the cruise control was better programmed. But, you know, it's not. So these are my numbers right now. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Hit the like button if you found it useful or helpful. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.